It's the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 versus the Galaxy S24 Ultra. And it's not a spec for spec thing with these devices. You're really making kind of a lifestyle decision or a decision on how you use your phone and what best works for you when you're looking between these two devices. Now, there is a definite step down in price, which is odd to say, for a $1,400 phone in the S24 Ultra, because Samsung is doing their level best to not make that much of a gap between the giant foldable and the giant slab phone, even though Samsung now has got, if you want to get a well-appointed one, you're talking over $2,000 for the Z Fold 6. Link in the description does help the channel. There are some back-to-school specials going on right now. You could save some money student discount wise on the Z Fold 6. If you're looking at one of those for school or work or something like that, or you're in school and you're work or whatever it happens to be, you could go ahead and pick up one of these devices. So if you're looking at these two, you've had a regular slab phone for years. You've been using an S Galaxy device, the big one, the Note, for years. You see all these people having fun with the folds. You see that the generation's getting better one year after the next. I know people think it's the same every year with the Z Fold series devices, but it's really not. There are some definite improvements here year over year, and this is, to me, the best one yet. I really like the compact form factor. I like the little bit of extra space on the outer display. The hinge feels great. The design is premium. You open it up, I think it's the perfect size on the internal display. I think there's a lot to like about the Fold 6, but it's more of a commitment, right? If you're somebody who bashes your phone around, you're not going to get a Fold 6. If you're somebody who works HVAC, construction, outdoors, you go to the beach a lot, you're not going to get a Fold 6. So there are some considerations, both lifestyle and usage-wise. So why would you pick up a Fold 6 versus an S24 Ultra, especially if you've had one of these for years? Well, if you're somebody who, the easy one is to say if you multitask a lot, because you get a lot of that internal display, you get the larger size, you can set up the different apps. To me, it's more than that, especially since I don't really love the way One UI handles multitasking compared to something like the OnePlus Open. This is a thing you get if you use your device heavily for work. If you do a lot of document work, if you do a lot of email work, if you are heavy into business with your device, I think that's where the Fold 6 starts to pull ahead and earn the extra money. Because realistically, an extra $600 for the Fold 6 makes no sense for the average user. That's why these are niche products. That's why you don't see a lot of them in the wild. I've seen one other Fold in the wild in however many years of these devices being out. One other person I know has a Fold. Kid at Bolin has a Fold 3. It's the only time I've seen one of those out in the wild. And there's a reason for that. It's because it is expensive. If you're using just Instagram and Twitter and whatever else, is the experience better than on the S24 Ultra? Absolutely. Is it $600 better? No. And then you have all the inconveniences of the fragility of the internal display, limitations on where you could take it, what you could do with it, camera system limitations. There's a lot of things you have to live with here that you're making sacrifices on and spending more money. So if you don't have that set usage case, despite how cool these seem, you really got to use your head and say, am I somebody who sends a lot of emails? Am I somebody who works with formatting or video or photo editing on my device and I need a larger camera? Am I somebody whose business is social media? If am I a manager, an influencer, or something like that? I manage accounts, or I manage AdWords accounts. I'm big into SEO. I have some sort of online job that way. Even if you're a writer, myself, I love Airtable on this. I could see the entire outlay of when my articles are due. If you're somebody who's going to use this for work, who has a legitimate productivity use, then you're going to pick up a Fold 6. And trust me, you will like the differences over the S24 Ultra. For actual work, having that wider canvas to read an entire email, to see an entire document, you still have S Pen support on the internal display, to see an entire spreadsheet, it makes all the difference in the world if you're trying to get work done. Now, unless you're an enthusiast who's just looking for a thrill and you want something like this, if you're every other user, do yourself a favor, save some money, and pick up a slightly more versatile phone in the S24 Ultra. Okay? You're picking up a lot here. Not sacrificing power, not sacrificing RAM. You're getting a more versatile camera system. You're getting a better camera system. So if you're somebody who just uses their phone for social media, You like to play around with friends. It's WhatsApp. It's some light email and gaming and all the rest of it. The S24 Ultra, if you're really being honest with yourself, is going to be the best choice. It's going to be the choice that, yes, while you still can't get productivity done here, if that's not your entire use case on your device, if you're not putting in 6 hours of work on your phone a day, then the S24 Ultra is going to be a better use case because you can take it to the beach, because you can take it swimming, because you can take it on construction sites or job sites, or you're outside and it's particularly windy and there's dust blowing around. You don't have to worry about it with this phone. You get the S Pen in the device, which is nice. You could goof off with your friends and making GIFs and whatever else on the device. You could still do photo and video editing over here. You just don't have the larger canvas display. So if it's not your job, if it's not how you make money, then you could get by with the S24 Ultra. And it's still a gigantic display. I mean, you look at them side by side for the external displays, but look at that. And even when you open it up, you could see. I mean, yes. Is there a lot more canvas over here? Yes. Is this better for a lot of productivity items? Yes. But this is still pretty good. You're still getting a nice, large, gorgeous 6.8-inch display over on the S24 Ultra. So, yes, you are giving up some things. You don't have the cool factor over here that you do with the Fold 6. You don't have the wow factor, the conversation starter that you do with the Fold 6. You don't have the ability to just kind of open it up and enjoy a huge video and multitask with your friends. And you got your sports up here and your fantasy teams down here. There's plenty of things that you do on the Fold 6. But if that's a small percentage, if you're not getting that daily use when you go into the workplace or when you go to school, a $2,000 device is a device that you have to get 24 hours of use out of. And what do I mean by that? You have to get use out of it in your professional life, and you have to get use out of it in your private life in order for a device like this to make sense and to start justifying such a massive price tag. If that's not you, if you're the casual user, if you don't watch 30 YouTube videos on a device before you buy it, save $600, get yourself a more durable device, get yourself a device that's getting just as much support, it's going to have just as much Galaxy AI, and it's going to have a much better camera system, much more versatile camera system with the zoom and all the rest of it than this device here. So I know that this Fold 6 is flashy. I know it's the one that enthuses you. You want to sit there and like, I'm going to use this thing, man. I'm going to open this up and whatever else. It's more of a commitment than you think. It's more of a dedicated device than you think. Because it's not merely a thing of, well, you're just opening it up a lot and you're using it and you're using the outer display or whatever. You're making actual conscious compromises with the Fold 6, which annoys a lot of people for $2,000. See, that's why a lot of people complain about the camera system over here and the outer display over here and a few other things. People can't wrap their hands around having to compromise for $2,000. Because it doesn't feel natural, right? You're paying the most amount you've ever paid for a phone, and yet you have to make compromises. Yes, because you're picking up other things on the other end. Here, you don't have to make those compromises. Yes, it's not going to be as nice for some of those things that you're going to use the gigantic internal display for. But performance-wise, everyday use-wise, casual user-wise, the S24 Ultra is going to be the smarter, more savvy choice for 90% of the audience watching this video. If you're in the other 10%, congratulations, man. You're going to love this thing. Have a good time with it. But if you're in most of that other category, save some money and pick up an S24 Ultra. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.